What's going on? All thanks for tuning in once again. I want to talk about Floyd Mayweather and the Hall of Fame. Okay, Floyd Mayweather, everyone knows him. Everyone should know him. He's definitely this era's best. I mean, he retired at 2017, I believe. And that was basically when I was growing up. And to me, he was my favorite. He was my favorite to watch because he challenged everybody. He challenged everybody and he beat everybody, and he was very dedicated to the sport. He taught people about putting in the hard work and getting the result, and not only that, respecting his parents, and in terms of learning from his dad and admiring and believing in his dad, that he will be champion. He's a guy that dropped out of, I wouldn't say dropped out, but after the 12th grade, that was it for him. He went straight into boxing and he went for it. He pursued his career in boxing because he believed in himself. And that's the thing, everyone has greatness in them, everyone has something special, talent. And it's all about hard work and dedication, and that's what Floyd's basically taught everybody. Put in the work, you get the result, okay, regardless of what it is, as long as you believe in yourself. And the thing is that, he mentioned that all the hate and all the jealousy drove him even more. That's another thing. A lot of people talk about getting brought up hard and getting, put down, and people talking down on them. And if anything, that's an advantage. That should be the fuel that you need to push yourself, to be the best that you can be, to back yourself. If no one's doubting you, you're going to think that you're good enough. So I mean, this is just my opinion. Everyone's got their own, but to my opinion, if you're getting brought up harder and you're okay today and you can live a life where you have your own direction, you've got a hell of a lot out of life than most people, because you've already gone through those challenges, and now it's in your mind that, not only are you trying to prove them wrong, but you're trying to prove yourself wrong, and trying to, push yourself to be the best that you can be, and this is what Floyd done. And, he's great, he challenged all the great legends, Pacquiao, De La Hoya, all the guys coming out, Cotto, he challenged all of them. Even though the Pacquiao fight was late, you got to respect Floyd for challenging everybody. Nowadays it's all about the bouts, and even though Floyd never had undisputed, he can go ahead of being one of the most, paid, one of the most respected as in terms of his skill, and one of the most greatest boxers ever, Floyd Money Mayweather. And you gotta acknowledge, the way that he promoted himself, and you gotta acknowledge, like I said, all the work that he put in, and you gotta acknowledge that he is this boxing Hall of Fame. He deserves to be there, and like I said, he's the best in this era. And he was the one that sort of kept boxing alive for me. I'm going to be honest here. Like I said, he retired at 2017, and back then, I was still watching it. Back then, it was all about that Pacquiao Mayweather, right? Around about those times, 2015 onwards. I can't remember when that actual fight was, but that kept boxing alive for me, because it's always been about the heavyweights for me. You think of Ali and all them, and Floyd, definitely shined the light on his division, and he definitely shined the light on boxing, in terms of greatness, competitive fights, challenging the best, not ducking anybody, and just, proving that he is the best. He's got 50-0, but the 50-0 isn't guys that we don't know of. The 50-0, majority of the 50-0 are the people that were at the top of the division, the top 10. He beat them all, okay, to my knowledge. So you can claim to try to pass his record, but that won't be done unless you put in the hard work and dedication, because 50-0 is a big record to beat. 50 wins, 0 losses. That's a huge record. So I mean, unless you put in the hard work, time, and dedication, no one will beat that record. Marciano holds 49-0, and the O, even though it's boxing, and people don't want to lose, and it's all about perfect record, the O on Mayweather's record just shows that he is a perfectionist. That's what it shows. That it shows that his hard work and dedication paid off, because he's undefeated. And I know that people lose in boxing. I know that that's the nature of the business. Sometimes you don't see the shots coming, but in my opinion, to have a 0, no losses, that's a clear indication of hard work, dedication, and putting in time, and that's what you call results, and this is why he has the best record in boxing. He also acknowledged, obviously Jimmy Lennon Jr., I've got to also acknowledge myself, Michael Buffer. I believe Michael Buffer's the GOAT of announcers, but Jimmy Lennon's also somebody to, definitely take your hat off, that made boxing exciting. But apart from the announcers and all that, the promotion and all that, I believe that the fans and the fighters are the most important in boxing, because the fans, obviously, they need to show up and they need to be supporting the fighters that are, displaying greatness. And, boxing is a thing that I actually tuned out of after Mayweather. If I'm perfectly honest, I was tuned out around about the Lennox Lewis era, when he left, because I've always been about the heavyweights. So once he left, I sort of tuned out, and the Klitschko brothers took over. But now boxing is lit up again. Now boxing is great, and everybody is tuned into it. It's definitely exciting again. We're seeing Mike Tyson in exhibitions. We're seeing Mayweather in exhibitions. It's definitely back. They wouldn't be in the ring if it wasn't back. And but once again, even though it's back, like I said, you can claim to be the best, but you gotta, if you want to claim to be the greatest, you gotta beat Floyd's record. In my opinion, it's all about records nowadays. In my opinion. And when I say beat his record, I mean fight all the top guys. You don't have to have the 51-0, but you have to have the legacy of fighting the best, beating the best, and then hanging up the gloves and saying, you know what, man, I challenged everybody, and I'm the best in the sport. And that's what Floyd done. Hard work, dedication, and definitely, someone to look up to in terms of respecting their parents, listening to their parents, pursuing their dreams, and going for it, man. And that's all I wanted to say, man. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hearing me out, man. I appreciate your time. Leave your take on it. And God bless you all, man. Peace. Have a good one.